What's going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the new stuff arriving on the Japanese version of One Piece Treasure Cruise. Global at the moment has been kind of slow. We are expecting, obviously, Sabo and Koala next week, and of course, I'll be doing some pulls on that Sugo Fest when that goes live. But we have some information on JP, and it's actually pretty interesting, and it'll be interesting to see what you guys think about this new stuff that's coming, because there is a lot of new stuff coming. So let's get into it, because this is probably going to be a long video. First of all, new update coming to JP, version 9.5.0, arriving on the 25th of November. Now, it doesn't look like they're adding that much, or it's weird, because there's like 4 dot points there, but there's only 3 dot points here. So I don't know. I feel like maybe one might just be bug fixes or something, but new character functionality is being added. Now, this could be a multitude of different things, because there are new support abilities, and older characters are getting direct buffs. Like, not even limit break buffs, like they're literally buffing the captain ability and special ability of older characters just for free, which is going to be interesting, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But it has been nearly a month since JP has released a new Sugo Fest exclusive character. The last character to arrive on JP was the Halloween Ace, which it literally has been like a month since a new Legends arrived on JP, so this could be hinting towards the fact that a new Legend could be coming. So that could be what the functionality is for. I hope so, because new functionality for new characters along with a new legend is always exciting. Really interesting to see what they're going to be doing there. But yeah, it could also mean all of the other stuff that they're including in this massive update. Adjustments for existing functions, which we'll also be talking about as well, and adjustment of UI and stuff. Okay, so fair enough. But here is another big thing. Units getting a support ability in the 9.5 update. So it has been a long time since any support abilities had arrived on JP, and now all of a sudden they're dumping like 50 new support abilities. It's crazy. So for Legends, version 1 Rayleigh, Sengoku, Log Luffy, Crocodile, Inuarashi, NL, and Capone. Okay, so you got some older characters here, definitely, with version 1 Rayleigh, Sengoku, Log Luffy. Like, pretty much all these characters are kind of old. Capone is the relatively newish one. Even NL, honestly. NL is kind of old now that you look at it. But honestly, I think everyone would agree to the fact that everyone is kind of sick of the support abilities where it's just like, add 5% base stats, add 5% health, recovery, HP, whatever it may be. Everyone's kind of sick of that. I think to make these characters worth running, or just worth using as a support, is kind of make their special ability a part of their support ability, but like a nerfed version. So you guys might remember Legend Corazon, right? Legend Corazon is one of the best legends in the game in terms of support, because he has a really cool special ability where he heals and removes a bunch of different debuffs, but as a support ability as well, he also reduces Bind, Despair, and Paralysis by 2 turns. So the fact that he has a support ability that's like a mini version of his captain ability makes this character so freaking good. I hope that when they release these support abilities, that potentially we see these support abilities on these characters have miniature versions of their special abilities on their supports. That would be epic, because Rayleigh, he removes Bind, Despair, and Paralysis by 7 turns, so it would be awesome if he had that type of ability that could attach to maybe like a Luffy or something, where he just removes Bind, Despair, and Paralysis by 2 turns. That'd be awesome. Sengoku, don't really know what they could do with him, but he's honestly probably the worst legend in the game at this point. Well, yeah, probably. I don't know, Log Luffy is kind of bad too. So yeah, Sengoku, they need to do something with that. I'm not really too sure what they could do there. Same with Log Luffy. I don't really know what they can do with his support ability either. Crocodile, honestly, a really cool one for Crocodile could be potentially like lowering your crew's health if you use a special or something, because that could be used on some very specific teams. That would be interesting. Inuarashi, maybe something to do with tap timing bonus, perhaps. NL, perhaps like a healing mechanic. Capone, I'm not really too sure what they could do with Capone either. Perhaps blocking damage of some kind. I don't know, we'll have to wait and see. But there's a bunch of rare recruits here. Look, all the way from Gear 3 Luffy, Strong World units, 3-day 2-year units. You got a quick Ideo for some reason, Suru, Time Skip, Usopp. Just a whole bunch of really random characters are getting support abilities. This is also a very interesting one. Treasure map, all of them except Halloween Boa and the dual units. So for those who don't know, dual units don't get support abilities, which is kind of like weird. I would like them to get support abilities, but it's fair enough. I mean, like dual units get switch effects for free, so it is what it is. But it's weird that Halloween Boa didn't get one. I don't really understand why. I don't know. Maybe they're planning on something her in the future. But Every other treasure map unit in the game is getting a support ability. Again, that is massive, and once again, I hope that their support abilities are just miniature versions of their specials. Like one I was thinking of, you know, with Treasure Map Cavendish. Treasure Map Cavendish is a really interesting character. He doesn't really see play all that much anymore, but he has a very unique mechanic where, no, that's not the right Cavendish, this is the right Cavendish. So he has a special ability that removes all positive buffs on your team and then will apply a 1.75 orb and attack boost to Driven. I think what would be cool is like a very niche sort of support ability would be like if you get given a buff, whether it be attack or boost, color affinity, you know, whatever it may be. If like, let's say if the enemy gives you like a really small attack or orb boost, he has a support ability that removes all positive buffs once on your team for like once a run. That would be really cool, because on those very niche circumstances, you could use him as a support, but we'll have to wait and see. You know, honestly, I don't think they'll go that in-depth into the support abilities. Most likely, the treasure map characters are just going to be add a certain amount of stats to characters that relate to that unit. I think it's going to be something similar to that. Also, some Fortnite units and raid units also will be receiving a support ability as well. So that's really interesting to see, and it's going to be really, really interesting, or just overall, how are they going to deal with these support abilities? And, you know, I'm not really too sure how JP does with their support medals, because I know that getting them is kind of tricky. You have to kind of just wait till the extra Colosseums come around. I know Global recently had the extra Colosseum versus Kobe, and in order to get more support medals, you have to farm the highest difficulty multiple times, so it can be quite annoying, but we'll have to wait and see. Moving on, they've got the Blitz Battle and stuff. I don't really want to be talking about the Blitz Battle today. Everyone knows what the Blitz Battle is all about. This is something I wanted to talk about. So, they are buffing the captain ability and the special abilities and the cooldowns of these raid bosses. So, Monster Chopper, which, that's crazy, Psy Garp, Strength Blackbeard, Psy Heracles, Quick Ivankov, Cybo Hancock is getting a buff as well, Kizaru, Nightmare Luffy, and Momonga. So that's really cool. I mean, on Global specifically, we already have a Neo version of Nightmare Luffy, and he is really good. Neo Nightmare Luffy is honestly one of the best Neo raids that we've had, just period. He is phenomenal, just with great utility along with a type boost. So good. But the fact that they're buffing Captain, Special, and Cooldown of these characters. Now, in my personal opinion, I don't think they're going to be doing Captain, Special, and Cooldown for every single character. I think maybe one unit will get a Captain buff and maybe some cooldown. Like, it'll be a mixture. I don't think every unit will get all three of the buffs. I think they'll kind of spread it around. Because with Boa Hancock's Special, I think her special is still really, really good, and she doesn't really need to be changed all that much. Her captain ability isn't that great. Her cooldown, obviously, less cooldown is always great. But then you got characters like Monster Chopper. Like, his captain ability is a 3x boost to strength, but then he reduces your health by a crap load. So it would be cool if they just remove the health stuff and just make him a straight 3x strength captain. Like, small buffs like that to make the units actually usable would be great. Let me know down below in the comment section what you guys think they're going to be doing here. I mean, just having a look at this as well. Strength Blackbeard, I think his cooldown should be lower. His captain ability should probably be buffed as well. And then you got characters like Heracles, who really never sees play. Ivankov has a terrible captain, terrible special. Ivankov needs a big buff as well. Kizaru, his captain ability maybe needs a buff. His special ability is still really good to this day and is used a lot, really. Nightmare Luffy, the regular Nightmare Luffy is pretty bad. And Momonga, he's got a pretty good special ability still, but it's kind of outdated because there's just so many other cerebral characters in the game now. But just, I like seeing that they're just giving straight up buffs to these characters. You don't have to limit break them. You don't have to feed them any specific items. They're just getting a buff inherently, which is great. Now, there's also a change coming in the 9.5 update to Colosseums on JP. So, starting December 4th, so it's not as when this specific update goes live. Maybe this might be for when the date of the newest Colosseum is going to arrive on JP. December 4th, what date will that be? That will be, December 4th will be on a Wednesday on JP, so it's going to be interesting. I don't know if that's like the actual days for new Colosseum units, but if it is, then that would make sense. But you can see here, all cotton candy will now be +3. So previously they were already +1. So now every time you pick up a cotton candy, it gives +3 instead. That's a pretty nice buff. Also, increases the drop rate of Forbidden Tomes. That's always really nice to see as well. And special limit break materials, but details will not be revealed until later. So, there was an image that was flying around that came with this information, where it looks like the new Colosseum units will have farmable limit break materials specific to that character. You know how when you have a treasure map character, and when you farm the treasure map, you get the crystals, and it has the character picture behind the crystal? It looks like that's going to be happening with Colosseum units, and it's going to be interesting to see how the drop rate affects other drops during a Colosseum. I think that what they've done here is like the crystal for the character will be guaranteed on perhaps like a stage 4. Stage 5 will be the unit will drop guaranteed. And then they made it so that because, you know, you are getting one less drop because of the limit break crystal, that's why they've increased forbidden tome drops. And if you do get a cotton candy, it's going to give you +3 instead. I think overall it just makes a lot of sense, but I'm not really too sure how I feel about the actual fact that these new Colosseum characters will have their own specific limit break materials. It means that, like, I guess the limit break crystals that we have just normally, the ones you can use for regular legends and rare recruits, it means that they have less value, and it means you're not going to be using them as often, which means for people like myself who farm treasure map a lot, it means that we're going to have an even higher stock take of these limit break crystals. So I think that if they are going to continue down this road, they need to upgrade the amount of limit break materials that we can hold on our account. It should not be capping at 999. They should buff that to 9,999 100% of the time, because, I mean, there's a lot of people out there, and a lot of people can vouch for this. At the end of a treasure map, you'll get those mails where you can't even pick up those limit break materials, and I think if they did increase the amount that we could hold, that would be a humongous buff, and many people would be greatly appreciative of that. And one last thing we're going to be talking about here is the fact that after this upcoming maintenance during the end of December, Jeweled Pork Sanctuary will be removed from Extra Island. So for those of you who don't know what this is the island on Extra Island where you have to spend the 3 keys to unlock it, and you can get the porks where they give you EXP and stuff. Now on Global, this is actually kind of an important island because these are like the only booster or evolver characters that you can actually feed cotton candy to, because now on Global you cannot feed cotton candy to turtles, penguins, crabs, seahorses, anything like that. You cannot feed cotton candy to them, but you can still feed them to pigs. So this means on JP, they are completely removing this Jeweled Pork Sanctuary. It doesn't really matter for them because they don't have stackable boosters and evolvers, but if this ever comes to Global, that might be a problem for us. It means we'll have to find other ways or other avenues to save cotton candy. Any keys that are not used will be discarded completely. All players will receive 1 gem as compensation for those that didn't get the first time clear. So for those of you who started an account after the fact when they stopped giving out keys to everyone, it means that you literally couldn't even do the island to get the free gem. So now they're basically removing it, and if you didn't get the free gem for completing it the first time, they're going to give you a free gem for that. And the official date of the maintenance will be announced in the future, which well, I assume this was going to be with this upcoming maintenance, but I suppose this might not be. Even still, I just wanted to bring it up just in case, you know, because this could come to Global. We don't know. We don't really know. But that was the main thing I wanted to talk about in this video, was the new support abilities coming, and really how can they make them good? How can they make them worth it? Especially because we had some of the more recent stuff on JP with the limit break keys, and they were severely disappointing. I have a feeling that these support abilities might be in that same route. I really hope they're not. I really hope they are good support abilities, but we will have to wait and see. And the other big thing, of course, is the buffs to the old raid bosses. How usable are they going to be? Are they going to be top tier meta units? Most likely not. I hope they are, though. That would be crazy. Imagine seeing Monster Chopper on a team in 2019 or in 2020. It's going to be very intriguing. But that's going to wrap up this video, guys. Let me know your thoughts and opinions about all of these new updates coming to the One Piece Treasure Cruise Japan server. Very, very interesting. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, make sure to leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But other than that, guys, I will see you guys within the next video.